Okay guys, now outside the two beautiful Honda Civic Type Rs, and I'd just like to start by saying what is the difference between these and the previous generation. So obviously the previous generation had the same styling, long slanted back end, and now Honda has even enhanced and lengthened the front end as well. So you now have an elongated long nose, which isn't like many hot hatches, but obviously it is good for performance, as Honda is the king of the ring at the moment. And so you have a nice air vent in here, which we will now move to the white car to show where it actually comes through. And then there's fed into this intercooler here, which is fed into the motor, which feeds the turbo as well. You have a nice front end over here with lots of grilling where you can see the intercooler through there, and it feeds air through all of here. You have another vent here. You have some very nice optioned wheels on this, very lightweight, strong, good for racing, with some heavy modified brakes. Moving to the side here, you have some more ventilation for air to pass through the wheels, obviously to make aerodynamics slightly better, with another side vent over here and a little bit of a splitter sticking out from the side skirt. We have another vent moving to the rear where you can have more air coming through. Unfortunately, this is not a real one. As Matt Watson would say, we need a stick of truth to test that. Coming to the back end, starting down low, we have a very nice rear diffuser, and obviously the best part about the car for me, the 3 centered tailpipes, which really reminds me of the older styled Ferraris. Moving to the top end now, obviously you have the Civic Type R badge there, and this long displayed light bar with a red badge to show that it's the Type R. This light bar is becoming quite a common thing to see from the likes of Audis, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Honda, and so on. And then also to add, you have some aluminium wing mounts with quite a massive wing on the rear end here. To me, this and the John Cooper Works GP have the most menacing wings for this hot hatch slash cross sedan type of cars that are on to offer. But overall, I don't know which would you guys pick. Let us know down in the comments. Would you rather have this beautiful white spec or the beautiful black spec that we have over here? But yes, talking about the design of the car is really long now. It is moved on from the FK8 and lengthened a bit, slightly more sleeker, slightly more in your face, as well as it has changed quite a bit from the generation just before that, where Honda had pure hot hatches where the ends were cut off. But I really like that they've kept the design the same, in the sense where they are still the wild Civic Type Rs that used to be. They have the big spoilers, they have the wide arches, and they have the menacing 3 tailpipes at the back. Okay guys, so on the interior of the brand new Civic Type R, let me just shut the door so that I wanted to play that thing for you. You get a little graphic in the gauge cluster that just shows the Civic Type R badge and the car coming to life. So inside, it is really nice in here. You have Alcantara on the steering wheel. I think these are the most comfortable seats I have ever sat in a hot hatch in my life. I have never sat in more comfortable seats in a hatchback ever. So these are really comfortable. They hug you nicely. The bolstering is not too annoying so that you can feel like your back is getting bad, but like it's really nice in here. Alcantara, you have some plastics in here. You know, it's still a Honda at the end of the day, so it's still plastics. And then obviously the 6-speed manual transmission, and it just feels amazing. The shorts are so, while the throws are so short, it's unbelievable in here. It's just so unbelievable. You could really take this on the track and absolutely beat it and hammer it all day. And then again, it's a Honda. It'll probably take it day in and day out and just keep breathing the next day. So in here, so let me actually just turn it on real quick so that you could see a lot of the tech. If I turn that off, you have the infotainment system right here. Yes, driver is responsible. It's really better than the GR Corolla that we were in a couple weeks back, because you know, it's a bit more upscale, a bit more technologically advanced. With the GR Corolla, I really felt like it was just a cheap version of like Toyota's old systems, and knowing that car is almost 900,000 Rand to like almost a million Rand, this is a lot better. It's a lot faster, it's a lot more intuitive, it's just better in every single regard. It may not be up to standard with something like an RS3 or an A45, but it's still very good. You can see there, as I keep tapping,
you know, it does take a second, but like it's still a lot more fast and a lot more intuitive than the GR Corolla. Maybe not up to standards with maybe like the mini JCW GP that we were in, but it's still really good. Then you get your digital gauge cluster, you have your tachometer on the left, you have your speedometer on the right, which goes all the way to 320, and obviously you're in comfort mode, as it just states over there, with the driving mode right here. So if I tap it, you just hear that beep that just tells you and lets you know that you're going into different driving modes. Then if I press the R badge right there, you really do get a different layout in the gauge cluster. It's more straight, if I can say that. It's more of like being on the racetrack and having nothing else in front of you. It's really, really cool. I just love this car. It's so much more better than the GR Corolla we were in. That car, it's amazing. That car really is amazing, but this, it just feels a tad more better. It just looks a bit more better, although that one is a bit more muscular and like almost like Hulk. And then you get your Civic Type R badging right there, but it's really, really cool. So now let's actually head into the back seats so that we can see how practical this hatchback is after all, because it is based on Honda Civic. So yeah, let's head to the back. So guys, in the back seats now of the Civic Type R, and I must say it is super comfortable inside. It actually is really well done inside. You've got a whole bit of flush Alcantara throughout the seating, and it's very cushioned. Everything sits well. There's a lot of legroom here. Obviously there's only 2 seats in the back. You've got some storage, some cup holders, some space to put something else here, but overall it is absolutely finished really well. There's more Alcantara on the sides here, a bit of soft touch. You even have a still manual closing door handle there, and this door handle style almost like a Audi, Volvo or something of that styling. And these feel really nicely, the little window buttons. Got a bit more space here, there. And then there's a really nice red carpet finish here. It is really like, it stands out, which I can really appreciate about the car. You have the nice red stitching, the red seat belts, whereas in the front of the car you have the red seats as well. So everything about this car, whether it's outside or inside, really just stands out. And in the back seats here, it is a lot more comfortable than what is in the likes of the GR Corolla that was a bit more cramped up. And I must say it even is more comfortable in the back here than what the Golf R, the Golf 8R I should add, was. So there aren't really any complaints here. You have some branding as well here to show that you are in a Type R. There's some ventilation on the seats over here, and yeah, there's a lot of headroom, as you can see. There's a lot of leg room. Obviously these aren't even preferred driving seats. The seats could go more forward, but there is quite a bit of leg room. There's a lot of space around you to move around and not feel squashed up inside. So let's head to the back of the car, open the boot, and see how much capacity it has compared to its relative competitor. Moving on from practicality in the rear seats to now to the rear end, I must say the boot space is quite large. You have quite a bit of spacing. Obviously you can see some of our stuff is inside of here, just for some proportionality. There's quite a bit of space. You have extra space in here and extra space in here with more sound systeming, and there is just generally quite a bit of space. You can put the seats down and have more space, but you shouldn't need to do that. Then just one weird thing that we found, you do have one of these covers on the back, but if you wanted a second one for whatever reason, there is this puller display one that you can pull out and clip to the end. But overall, no complaints. The boot is bigger than the likes of the John Cooper Works GP from Mini. The same with the Toyota, and then also even the Golf R, this boot seems to be slightly bigger. Obviously mentioning again that this is a slanted long back end rather than a proportional hot hatch, which the others are, where they just have a cut off rear end. But overall the practicality in the back is solid, no complaints there. So let's head to the front of the cars and see what we have for an engine.
Underneath the bonnets of these magnificent Civic Type R, so this engine is actually a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged with around 225 kilowatts. That's around 320 horsepower and around 425 newton-meters of torque, all going to the front wheels through a 6-speed manual transmission, because that's always been the Civic Type R's recipe: a front-wheel drive hot hatch that you can just roll your own gears in. Not many cars of this caliber are being made these days, because most manufacturers are either going electric or they're just putting an automatic transmission, and we all know if you really want to be a driver, you shift your own gears. So that's really cool. this engine is just amazing. Just looking at it, you know, it says Honda right there. I think a lot of people underestimate just how much Honda is a performance brand. Let's not think about it. Well, let's not forget that once upon a time they made the Honda NSX, which at the time was the most beloved car, although it didn't sell very well, but like it was the most beloved car because it was refined, it was very driver focused for a lot of enthusiasts, and it was obviously reliable, which a lot of supercars were at that category of having an everyday daily driver. So that's what really made that car really cool. And looking at this, I don't know about you, but I think I would lean more towards the whites because white just looks better on this car. But then again, funny enough, this is actually the fastest front wheel drive hot hatch on the Nürburgring, doing a time of 7 minutes and 44 seconds, just around 3 seconds quicker than the equivalent Golf R, because that does it in around 7 minutes and 48 seconds. Knowing that this is front wheel drive and a manual transmission, that's pretty insane to think about, knowing like you have to roll your own gears a lot of the time, because with track cars you really don't want to take your hands off the steering wheel at all times, but somehow Honda made it possible to like do that and just have fun while doing it. So actually let's start this car, well these cars, so that you can hear what these cars sound like. The end of this wonderful review with these two magnificent cars right next to us. And what do we think? I think internally these cars are amazing. The interior is a lot better than the GR Corolla. Maybe not up to standards with the GP, but still it's amazing. I love the seats, the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in a hatchback or even a hot hatch, to let that down. So thanks again to Honda Santon for allowing us to come and review these cars. Pretty soon we might actually come and test drive one of these cars. So stick around. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you next time.